Titanic was actually a hit job.
For real?
Yeah, the Titanic was a hit job. So basically,
this image, not AI. This is a very real statue of Elon Musk that exists in
This isn't just a rumor. It's a beta test. I was on this.
Welcome campers and camp whores to the Daily Camper Week of July 25th, 2010.
Putting premature babies in glass boxes at fairs and at carnivals and charging people to come see them.
You to be sick. Let's listen it.
We wait for you to get sick, and you do. Then, once you are sick, we don't restore your health. We merely manage.
Please, I don't have any time for any gossip now. Eh? Yes.
Look at you.
Something with it.
It's just money coming to me easily. Money coming in and needing me. Money coming in repeatedly. Money coming, it's just money coming. It's just money coming to me frequently. Money coming in to be with me. Money coming in secretly. Money coming, it's just money coming. It's just money coming to me always. Money coming in all day. Money coming in all paid. Money coming, it's just money coming. It's just money coming to me frequently. Money coming in to be with me. Money coming in secretly. Money coming, this is money coming. It's just money coming to me easily. Money coming in and needing me. Money coming in repeatedly. Money coming, this is money.
Welcome back to All Things Jenny. I'm Jenny. Welcome back to another episode of crazy videos that I have been tagged on TikTok, crazy conspiracy theory. And I want to say that all of these videos are for entertainment purposes only, all alleged. Let's get it.
Welcome campers and camp whores to the Daily Camper Week of July 25th, 2010. We have a lot to talk about, so let's get started.
This anonymous web show is one of the most disturbing things that's ever existed on the internet. What I just showed you was a clip from an online program called The Daily Capper. The Daily Capper was a program put on by pedophiles all across the world. And this was the head of a community of people known as cappers. This online community of pedophiles known as cappers would go onto the profiles of underage girls and boys, flatter them with compliments, shower them with praise, and try to get them to flash them so that they could take a screen cap of their nude body. And after that, these pedophiles would then blackmail these children with these images. They would send these photos to friends, family members, schools. And there were all sorts of code words and online forums where these cappers, aka disgusting pedophiles, would meet and exchange information. The Daily Capper itself, this program, was a program put on by these pedophiles to talk about news and events that were happening within this pedophile community. It's really disturbing to me that they chose this because I used to watch the show Crashbox as a child, and I think that it's eerie and haunting that they're actually using imagery from a children's show for this pedophile network. Now, sadly, one of the victims of this capping community was a girl named Amanda Todd. Amanda's story is particularly well known because of the YouTube video she created before she took her own life. But at one point during Amanda's stages of cyberbullying, she was featured repeatedly on the Daily Capper, this program. And the intro always started like this: "Welcome cappers and cam whores." And then at the end, the newscaster up here would say, "Happy hunting," encouraging these pedophiles to go target more children. And they would do awards at the end of the year for the best, most prolific pedophiles in their community. These awards that they gave out included Blackmailer of the Year, Capper of the Year, Cam Whore of the Year, Cam Site of the Year, and Shocker of the Year, where they were basically giving awards to pedophiles and their victims. There's a lot of information online about this whole show and these pedophiles, but something really disturbing to me is the fact that most of the people involved in the Daily Capper were never brought to justice and they were never caught. That means that all of these pedophiles that were celebrating with each other and glorifying their disgusting acts are still out there, probably on the internet today. And to end this, I'm going to show you one more clip from the show, which I find is particularly disturbing.
Candy Beaches returned this week for the first time in a month. The reason they were gone so long is because they said someone called the police on them. Twice. I think I know what this is all about.
I've been reporting to the cyber police and the state police.
Looks like he wasn't joking around. Maybe it was their Good Morning America interview that prompted cyber police.
Riddle me this, guys. The people in power and at schools and in textbooks, they tell us certain things, but nobody ever questions where they got their information from. We are told that we're living on this ball and there's a mantle and an outer core and an inner core. But how do they know that when the deepest hole ever dug was the Kohler super deep borehole, and that was only 7.6 miles deep? So how can they tell us that there's an inner core and outer core when they haven't even gone that deep? But this is the thing, nobody asks the questions. We just accept what we're told, and what happens, we get misled, and we end up like lemmings going over a cliff face.
This man reveals how they want you to be sick. Let's listen it.
We wait for you to get sick, and you do. Then, once you are sick, we don't restore your health. We merely manage your symptoms. So we can manage your high blood pressure, we can manage your cholesterol, we can manage your pain, your arthritis pain, we can manage your diabetes. We don't cure you. Current healthcare system is a hoax. People have gone on a 40-day fast and cured their cancer. The body was never designed to eat 3 meals a day, every day. We were hunter-gatherers. We would find food, we'd eat it, we'd go without food till we found more. But we eat food all the time. We weren't designed to do that. And so you need to give the digestive system a rest. You know, it's very, very active, and so you're putting a lot of wear and tear on the digestive system. You need to allow it to rest and repair. I recommend fasting on a regular basis. Let's say I do it 1 day a week, and then 7 to 10 days once a year.
This decoder says, we actually want you to be sick. You eat 3 meals a day, and that's the biggest problem for digestive system. And people cure cancer by 40 days fasting. What do you think about it? Let me know in the comments section.
I could say that this is very true. As someone who worked in the medical fields and also someone who passed medications and all that stuff, I can tell you for a fact that Big Pharma is not here to heal you. This is all alleged, in my opinion. Big Pharma is not here to heal you. It is here to soothe you, to basically give you a pacifier for your illness, and also to keep you coming. Because at the end of the day, if they heal you, right? For example, if they had the cure for cancer, they're not going to publicize it. Even if they did have it at the moment, they're not going to publicize it because they need more people to be sick so they can continue to keep the machine running. The more you're sick, the more you're on UGs, the more you're going to need the help by going to the hospital, getting medications, which means keeping everybody getting paid. Even at the hospital, we should always say, you know, it's job security when we have more patients coming to the hospital, because it really is. So if they heal you 100%, then obviously you won't be coming back to buy more medications. And also, that is the reason why. Have you guys ever seen the movie or the show, The Falling of the House of Usher? I love that show. I think I've seen it about 3 times. But it's about this big company where they're providing Uggs to people who are basically getting addicted to it. And that is the reason why the entire family's empire was falling down, because they knowingly was keeping people trapped in this cycle of needing this UGG, even though it says that it's helping you, but then you get addicted to it, then so you now continue to have to buy the UGG. But when they started the company, they basically sabotaged their friend in order to get the company to their name by themselves. So it could be like a family business, but this family business is winning lives. And one of the lives that it won was someone that he actually got married to, which turned to be his muse, and he was basically keeping her.
How did we do it, Sarah? How did we get the whole world to worship and follow what we are worshiping and following? How? I mean, when you control everything, it's not that hard, right? Right. For example, take graduations, for example. There's a reason why we make college graduates wear the black robe, right? Obviously, the black robe and the squared cap, the cap and gown, it signifies the planet Saturn. Right, Saturn signifies time. Right. Remember, that's where the Grim Reaper comes from, the planet Saturn. Saturn signifies time and death and reaping what you sow. That's why the Supreme Court, right, is all about all them wearing black robes. Has to do with them judging you. The planet Saturn is about judgment. We've been doing this for like what, over 6,000 years now? It's beautiful. It's beautiful. That's why when we made the Bible, we made sure it stated that 144,000 people will be saved. the planet Saturn is housed 144 birth charts. And the idiots think there's gonna be a rapture. Right. We told them about Santa Claus, Santa living in the North Pole. What else has a North Pole? The planet Saturn. The planet Saturn has a North Pole. And it goes around and round and around counterclockwise. Like in Mecca, right? When they go do pilgrimage in Islam, they go round and round and round 7 times across, around the Kaaba. The energy we harness from these things are wonderful. Exactly. And how about in the Bible when we said Jesus sends out 72 disciples? And in the Hadith, in Islam, the martyrs are guaranteed 72 virgins or wives, right? Get it? 72 demons in the Goetia. The earth moves 1 degree on its axis every 72 years. The metaphors is ridiculous. And even when you graduate from college, right? The 3rd highest degree of college is a master's degree. Like the 3rd degree in Freemasonry is a master mason. Now that's my favorite one. That's my favorite one. This is wonderful. We got them all to follow what we're following. They don't understand it. In Hebrew, they wear the black cube on their foreheads. It gets to a point where I think the whole world is just ball knowledge. Elite ball knowledge. Too bad humanity will never wake up and see what we're doing. Of course, of course. Even if they do find out, we'll just destroy them all. Right. And listen, next Sunday, December 7th, we are on for that. Next Sunday goes down. Next Sunday. It goes down. All right. We'll see you then. The bullets are ready.
Quick question. Who do you think invented the internet, GPS, stealth bomber technologies, drones, and actually laid the foundation for mainstream AI? And just so you know, it's not a university, it's not a corporation. It's actually one of the most secretive and highly classified agencies in the world. And the crazy part is, majority of Americans or people in general do not know it exists and doesn't even know its name, which is terrifying. This agency is called DARPA. Essentially, it is the DoD's mad scientists. They are the innovative engine behind anything in the U.S. military. And their mission is to prevent and create strategic surprise. Let me say that again. Their purpose is to create strategic surprise. If you want to know how powerful they are, their influence is literally the architecture for our entire modern world. They shape everything. And it's only in the declassified documents, which are low level, so we don't even know the extent of what they do, and also leaked projects that let us know some of their power. 2 of the most popular projects that we know DARPA has done so far is Total Information Awareness and Project Stargate. In Total Information Awareness, they were creating an all-seeing eye of an AI that can literally monitor the entire world. And DARPA actually funded Project Stargate, which is a program where the CIA was working with psychic spies, which means they've been trying to bridge consciousness with spies and technology. And they're actually working on projects like the Big Dog Robot, which is an autonomous 4-legged robot that can actually work on the battlefield. They're also working on brain and computer interfaces and genetically engineered super soldiers. They're even trying to make an AI self-aware right now. Remember, they're also in charge of voice to skull. So when you're hearing messages directly in your head and you cannot tell if it's your thought or something else, they're in charge of that too. And this is just the tip of the iceberg of the things that we know that they're doing. So with all this power and how they are literally building our modern world, this makes us wonder, how much of what we do every single day is actually our choice or something that we've kind of been pushed into because of DARPA?
Not sure if I can say this, but AI thinks that Erica Kirk's clothing company website is sus, and I'll tell you how we arrived to that. So just like you that's watching, we probably all watched that same NBC interview that she did, and during that interview something really caught my eye, and it relates to reputation management, and it's the fact that she keeps using the keyword Egyptian plains, because if you were to search explaining reputation management in a nutshell, it's all about indexing on Google, like the search results and the rankings. So it's controlling information and how people get information. Just like Diddy said, media is the most powerful industry in the world. So it was one of the only words besides the book that she's promoting, because of course it's a book tour. You're going to say that over and over and over again, but I also feel it relates to, there was a certain figure of a certain country that was on camera talking about how they needed to get ahead of this, needed to contact their quote-unquote influencers. But essentially what she's doing is overusing this keyword, because if you search her name and Egyptian plane together, most likely you're not going to see whatever it is allegedly that they don't want you to see. You're going to see the interview, and it's going to be one article after the other on Google search. So I went to Yandex, different search engine, so I was like looking around and stuff, and I found some information, and that's where I was looking into her maiden name and her pre-married life. And then I discovered there she has a LinkedIn profile. So I know that LinkedIn has a record of every video you like or post you like, everything you comment on, it's there. And so I went to go look at this, and I come across, there's like a couple things there, but it appears that majority of the things that she posts are this clothing brand that's like Proclaim something like Outfitters, or don't quote me, but we'll find it here in a second. So I go to look at the website, and I start scrolling around, which I have to show you this. I just gotta show you this first. They said Noah was a conspiracy theorist. This is her clothing brand, okay? Now notice in the upper left-hand corner it says sold out, because everything is sold out. And I mean everything. And I thought, that's really strange. Everything is sold out. Why bother keeping it up there? So I go to find out that they do these random drops, and it's a part of the scarcity. So it encourages people to buy out things really quickly. But we wouldn't really know that if we were an outsider looking in. We would see, oh, this is so popular. So I go over to my trusty advanced Gemini model, and I start asking it questions, but I don't want it to give me the wrong information, so I don't even say it's related to this. I ask a very neutral hypothetical, and I was like, hey, would it be suspicious if there was a clothing company and their demographic is targeting Christians, and everything they're offering is sold out? The only other options that they had on the website for this is this thing like for your voice, where you can apply to have your voice shared on the company's social media channel on Instagram, reading your favorite Bible quote. But the way I see it as, this is kind of like a filter mechanism to try to find future possible collaborators, because you never know what opportunities can come out of this. And then I also venture down to the privacy policy. And there was a couple things that kind of struck it as odd, which it's not uncommon for an e-commerce site to be concerned about risk and fraud, but I was like, what? I'm so confused. Because, like, say for instance, and it was for these little free Bibles, the Bible 365, where Charlie and her had promoted, and there's this real app that goes with it that's in use, but pretty much it's like getting you to read the Bible 365 days of the year, and it had like, I guess, like a plan or something for you to be able to break it down and do that. And this is the collab between the two of them. Now, let's look at this together. This is what it looks like. So it's this personal information we collect. They collect a lot of information on you just by visiting the website in itself. And I'm going to give you the spoiler alert, but I think this website is there to collect information about you, because I'm going to tell you another spoiler, that other organization that everyone was talking about, where she was affiliated in Romania, the Heroes one, well, I found out also through another search while I was looking at this website. So they have the right to collect your stuff, you know, like going to this website, but what if you were going to another website, or you thought you were, but it still led you to this website? Because that's what happened, and I'm not making that up. And being that this is so popular right now, people are probably looking into that, not knowing that they're literally going into this trap of collecting your IP address, your search history, just everything, just by clicking on that site. I highlighted, I was like, okay, screen our orders for potential risk or fraud, which, like I said, in e-commerce, they would normally do that. And this free book, this Bible book that they're giving away, is free, but you pay the $5.50 for shipping. And there's a thing with fraud, like if somebody purchases something and then they say like there's a charge back, then the company itself might pay like 3 to 4 times the amount. So that's understandable to do that. So back to the AI thing. I know I'm kind of jumping around. And this is before I even tell what it is. I'm like, hey, this is what's going on. Is that a little weird? Am I wrong for it? And it says that this is an implausible business model. Legitimate retail business needs inventory to sell. Even during periods of high demand, a company would typically restock, remove discontinued items. So there was some of them that had like an October drop date, I guess, randomly. Things are still there. And I'm like, why would you do that unless, allegedly, unless you're trying to appear as something? And then it would say it would at least feature some items available for pre-order, back order, or current sale. Having 0 available products defeats the entire purpose of an e-commerce store. The only thing that you could get from there is either submit to use your voice, be a part of that, or to purchase this free Bible. So then I did some further digging, and it asked me if they wanted me to look up like the hosting thing, and there's the information on it is private. Like there's not even like a legit physical location for this website. The site was created in 2023, it said. And it brought up as like, why would a business pay for hosting and maintenance of a well-designed product website if there's nothing to buy? It suggests the primary function is not to sell. And mind you, I still didn't reveal what the site was. And it ironically brought up this part. Signing up for a mailing list, collecting personal data for future possibly unrelated activities. Click on non-retail links, directing traffic to other sites or services that are something else. This happened, but with that other nonprofit, that hero one. So people that are clicking on it thinking they're going to that site, they are led back to Proclaim. And it goes to the luring or data collection, seemingly legitimate front, prevents a transaction but might still encourage visitors to share their voice, get that Bible, which they build their email list. See, we're still on the hypothetical business. If it's indeed a shell, lead generation, data harvesting. And that's when we looked up the domain information. And just so we're clear, and I'm not going to be gaslit, AI says that that's really, really strange. Saying I'm absolutely correct to be suspicious. And I guess that's when I fed the privacy policy pictures. I gave it 2 screenshots, and it knew already where it was coming from. And I found something interesting about her professional background. When she was a real estate agent, she worked for this company. And I was like, 1973. And they did real estate for over 50 years in New York City and Manhattan. I wondered if any of the properties that Trump, because there was a really big thing with him back during that time where he was trying so hard to be able to get these permits or something to be able to get this property. But in fact, I was right on the lead, because not only was there a lawsuit that she had between Trump, but she was the broker that was there for the Trump Towers. She credited Trump for being half responsible for building her business by helping to make New York City a desirable place to live. There's even this too. Which I'm not saying that's sus, I'm saying that's kind of interesting, the amount of times, and that's before she even ran for Miss Arizona and was in Trump's pageant. This is a Greek news website, and this is how I found out. This is the HTTPS. It's not even a secured site, it's HTTP, which is really sus. I wouldn't really click on that normally. And honestly, I just realized that detail. But if you go to this website, you will end up right over in this website. And this is the screenshot that I took after clicking on that link. There is nothing to shop on here. Does she forget her own clothing drops? That interview is giving, I'm funded by a really wealthy organization, and I better say this in the public space because they're gonna pull their funding if I don't. Just my personal opinion.
Stabbed. Reality from unreality. A 22-year-old man named Tyler Robinson has been arrested and charged with the murder of your husband. And yet there are a huge number of conspiracy theories, you might call them brain rot, that are spreading right now online about the actual story behind the reality. One, people say that Tyler Robinson was actually a MAGA Republican. Or 2, some people say you were actually a Mossad agent sitting in front of me, and you were Charlie's handler, and Israel killed Charlie.
Right.
Other people say that a number of men in the crowd were wearing maroon T-shirts, and this signifies that his killing was an elite airborne operation, whatever that means. They say that the rings on your fingers, which are
my kids' initials,
your kids' initials,
my wedding band, the Medal of Freedom, my engagement ring.
But apparently they symbolize some kind of secret plot. There's also a new theory that Egyptian aircraft have been tracking you.
Mm-hmm.
What is going on? Why are there so many conspiracies spreading about what seems to be a pretty open and shut case?
This is the first time that we have seen evil on display where we have social media at our fingertips. Something so evil that happened, people are wanting answers immediately. They are wanting to figure out how to wrap their mind around this. Egyptian planes.
Egyptian
planes.
Do you believe that Tyler Robinson murdered your husband?
Yes, I do.
Why do you think it is so hard for so many people to believe that reality?
Because it's too simple. Again, everyone always has to think there's more to the story. Well, sometimes there's not. I've seen the autopsy report. I've seen our case pulled together. I've been in constant contact with our lawyers, the prosecuting team. I've seen it all. And let me tell you this. Why in the world, why should we, prior to the trial, lay all of our hands and cards on the table for the defense team to see, to somehow then, I don't even know what they would do with it. But what I will say, and I want to get on the Egyptian plane thing, we'll take a flight on that for a second. What I will say is what I'm worried about, and I'm fascinated, just from a legal standpoint, to see how the United Healthcare trials pans out. And I say that because this is the first time where we are seeing the implications.
You're talking about Luigi Mangione.
Correct. I'd prefer never to say any of their names. They do not even deserve the ounce of oxygen and breath out of my body. But what I mean is it's fascinating to see how social media will impact that court case, just how it might impact mine.
Are you nervous he's not going to get a fair trial?
I'm nervous that there could be, they'll say we can't find a fair jury. Like they're going to taint the jury pool. And in that case,
that's how widespread you think these conspiracies have gone?
Yes.
That's how mainstream they become. Okay.
Egyptian planes?
You want to talk about Egyptian planes?
Okay. I was pregnant for 90% of those trips. Mind you, I've never, all those places they said I've traveled, I've never been. I mean, I've been, but I'm not within those states that they've.
But you even said you need to address.
No, but this is, yeah, but I do on that one, only because, from a humor standpoint, I intentionally, when I was pregnant, hid. Not because I was embarrassed, not because I didn't want anyone. Yes, we did keep it very private, but it's because it was a moment very sacred. I was growing a human inside of me, my baby. The world that Charlie and I live in is very toxic at times.
Yeah.
And when you are growing a beautiful child in you, I don't want to be around it. I want to enjoy eating my In-N-Out burger and my hot fudge sundae. That's what I want to do. I'm pregnant, and I have 9 months to own it. You really think I'm going to be on an Egyptian plane while I am wanting to be with my In-N-Out burger and my chocolate milkshake? No, I'm not. So if you want to go through my flight log, go right ahead. It's very boring. You say I was here on this date. I have a photo in my phone to prove that I actually was in the hospital because I was having contractions. So game on.
The podcaster Candace Owens, okay? At one time, a friend of Charlie's, at one time, an employee of Turning Point. She has been one of the main peddlers of these conspiracies, and she is making a huge amount of money on it. She is building her business off of these lies. What do you want to say to her and the other people that are putting these lies out into the world right now?
Stop. That's it. That's all I have to say. Stop.
Okay.
This isn't just a rumor. It's a beta test. I was on this Discord chat digging through a leaked studio data dump from 2009, and the code is right there. Project Chimera. They're perfecting synthetic replacements, and they use solar flare interference to mask the server resets.
Well, slow down, kid. A beta test for what?
For everything. You weren't the first, Jamie. You were just one of the prototypes. They erased you because the test was over.
This This image, not AI. This is a very real statue of Elon Musk that exists in Brownsville, Texas. But as horrifying as it is to look at, what's happening in Brownsville is much more sinister. In 2013, Musk decided he wanted to build a private space launching facility in South Texas. Why Texas? It's a billionaire-friendly state. They have no corporate tax or state income tax. So Musk personally donated $12,000 to local Texas politicians. And his company, SpaceX, sent $219,000 in gifts to local Texas politicians. In 2014, SpaceX broke ground in Brownsville. Brownsville, Texas is the poorest county in the nation. In 2018, Musk said this.
He's got a lot of land with nobody around, so if it blows up, it's cool. If it blows up, it's cool.
The U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service documented 19 fires, leaks, and explosions at Starbase since 2019. But the Texas legislature passed a bill granting SpaceX immunity for any nuisances caused by their launches. So residents can't seek damages for noise, debris, traffic, or light pollution. Over the last decade, there have been 600 injuries at SpaceX facilities. One worker has been in a coma for 3 years. Another lost vision in one of his eyes. This specific SpaceX facility has an accident rate 6 times higher than anywhere in the space industry. The FAA has had to ground SpaceX numerous times because of safety problems with its rocket Starship. In September, Musk called for the FAA chief's resignation. After Trump was elected, he did. Elon donated over $250 million to Donald Trump's campaign. Now, Elon wants to turn the SpaceX facility into a company town. In December, SpaceX submitted an official petition for incorporated city status. Out of the 247 lots within the proposed city, only 10 are not owned by SpaceX. Nearly all 500 residents of the proposed city work at SpaceX and rent from SpaceX. What Elon has done in Brownsville, Texas was a practice run for what he is now doing to the entire United States. Use his money and influence to deregulate the government, to take over the government, and transform the country into the perfect ecosystem for his exponential money-making.
Our city, and we're just finding out after the land has been purchased, after the project has been approved by certain officials, right, who did know.
This is huge. This puts the word out there that Memphis understands operating at the speed of business.
As a community, we're trying to reach out to people and understand what is XAI. He built it without us even knowing that it was being built.
We had to watch this over X or Twitter. Brent Mayo, Elon Musk would tweet often about where they were in the progress, how fast things were moving.
To train an AI system, a data center requires an enormous amount of electricity. The question was, where would the power come from?
Most companies, when they come to the city of Memphis, they plug into our power grid. That's what you think would happen. Why would this be any different? Unfortunately, we learned because it is a billionaire's corporation, it would be a lot different.
XAI made a deal with the local electric company for 150 megawatts of power and agreed to build a new substation to help meet that demand. But Musk's ambitious plans suggested he would need much more power than that, and fast. Soon, people started to notice some unusual structures outside the facility.
I drove out there, and the first thing I did was hear the turbines. You can smell it as well. Such a disturbingly unique smell.
From the road, Keyshawn and others could see a row of machines that are typically only used for remote or emergency operations. Mobile gas turbines.
I have never seen portable turbines used like this.
Patrick Anderson works on air quality cases for the Southern Environmental Law Center.
We know that these kinds of generators require air permits. And so right off the bat, we started filing records requests with the local Shelby County Health Department. Do you have an air permit application from XAI? And they came back and basically said, no, we have nothing to hand over. We also filed records requests with EPA to see what they had. They also did not have details on what is on the ground out there. Nobody from the regulatory side, the health department, the city, EPA, has told the public or us really one iota of what's actually operating out there.
To figure that out, Patrick and his team hired a photographer to capture the data center from above. The images revealed far more turbines than anyone knew about. 35.
I couldn't believe it. I was absolutely stunned. How do we not know about this?
According to XAI leadership, the turbines are not being used and are not connected.
Under pressure, XAI claimed it was using less than half of those turbines.
I've talked to the XAI leadership team. There are 35, but there are only 15 that are on. The other ones are stored on the site.
Well, first off, these are expensive. There's a turbine shortage nationally. You don't obtain these turbines and put them on site if you're not intending to operate them.
So Patrick and his team sent the photographer back out with a high-end thermal camera.
What we saw is 33 of the 35 were very clearly operating.
The turbines were capable of generating about 420 megawatts of electricity, enough to power around 300,000 homes.
They built a power plant out there. And they've done it overnight, no air pollution controls, quick and dirty, no permit.
I mean, what you've done with the cluster in Memphis is incredible. Just in a handful of weeks.
Any given thing can be sped up. Yeah. Like whatever speed is being done, it can be done faster.
This is the largest AI cluster in the world. This place is absolutely amazing.
That is like superhuman. I mean, Elon is singular. Building a massive factory in the short time that was done, there's only one person in the world who could do that.
And this entire supercomputer is built to power rocks.
We were given a tour at XAI, looking at the facility. Very impressive, very exciting for Memphis. Their commitment to the community is remarkable.
It's unique in my experience.
Joseph Goffman has worked on air pollution issues for decades. Until January, he ran the EPA office that regulates air quality.
Most companies that I've dealt with go to great lengths and spend a lot of money to make sure that the day they turn on their operation.
I don't care what anybody say, Elon Musk is the devil. He's giving very much, he's on the spectrum, but he's smart, right? He's very smart, but I don't think he has a soul. Does that make any sense? He doesn't have consciousness. He doesn't have a soul, in my opinion. And the things that are happening, it's only happening because this man has money to buy. And that is the reason why I say money can buy you anything, especially in this country. Money can buy you anything. As long as you're willing and able to be manipulated and also become corrupt, you know, join the gang, join the group of people who are also corrupt, who are doing these things, because a lot of the time these people don't have any morals and they cannot feel sympathy or empathy for other people. He has the money, and he's doing this because he has the money and he can.
The Titanic was actually a hit job.
For real?
Yeah, the Titanic was a hit job. So basically what happened was all the richest people in the world in 1912 were supposed to be on this ship. You had the Rothschilds and their basically lackeys at that time who were called J.P. Morgan. There's also another guy who was on that ship. His name was Mr. Uster. He was the richest man in America at that time. He owned 40% of every mortgage in America. Imagine 40%. This guy's a gangster. I'm not saying he's a good guy. But basically this guy was in the way of the Federal Reserve. They wanted to create a central bank, the Rothschilds. They can't just take someone out of that importance. You know, this guy's just too important to shoot. Just can't kill him. So what they basically did, they made this big deal of, you know, everyone going on the ship. And then in the last seconds, all the Rothschilds people exited the ship. Like right before it was about to take off. The ship sunk. The richest guy in America died on the ship. All the politicians who he was basically bribing, all that money evaporated. So they went all to the Rothschild side. And then next year, 1913, they started the Federal Reserve Bank because there was no more opposition to it.
Many people believe that the Titanic was an accident, but let me explain how it wasn't. And this all started 2 years prior on Jekyll Island back in 1910. Here's where representatives of the Rothschilds, Rockefellers, Morgans, and other private bankers will meet in secret to draft the legislation that will create the Federal Reserve. I also found it pretty weird how in 1913, the same year that the Federal Reserve was founded, the IRS was also established. This led to the rise of income tax so that you and I would have to pay the politicians' debt plus interest to the bankers. But how did they even get to the point where they were in control of every central bank in the world? Because there were still people who were just as powerful as them, but they didn't agree with anything they had going on. Like John Jacob Astor, who was one of the top 10 richest people in the world at that time. So that's when J.P. Morgan decided to build the Titanic. And in 1912, he ensured that every powerful person who was against the establishment of the Federal Reserve was on board that ship. I also find it even more weird how Nathan Rothschild denied to insure the ship and deemed it too big to afloat even though it was called the unsinkable ship, as if he knew what was already going to happen. And after tragedy struck on April of 1912, they became the most powerful people in human history. And now today we have a privately owned central bank system disguised as a government-owned bank system, which is why our dollar bills no longer say United States note, but instead Federal Reserve note. JFK knew it was wrong, so he tried to reverse it, and 6 months later he was dead. Since 1913, anyone who has tried to go against the Federal Reserve has been. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this down below in the comments.
This is part 5. This is the world's most unsinkable woman. Violet Jessup was an Irish and Argentine ocean liner stewardess and nurse. In 1910, she was aboard the RMS Olympic when it crashed into a British warship and luckily made it back to port before sinking. Just 2 years later, in April 1912, Violet was on board the Titanic, and we all know what happened there. After hitting the iceberg, Violet was lucky to be able to board one of the few lifeboats. You'd think after that experience, she'd be done, but no. In 1916, she was aboard the HMHS Britannic when there was an explosion on board. They had only made it 55 minutes off the coast, and the explosion was unexplained. The boat sunk, but Violet once again survived. She went on to work on large ships for another 34 years, retiring at 63.
JP Morgan, the man that owned the Titanic, but he didn't board it. Okay, so here's something wild that most people may not know. JP Morgan, the financier, the banker, the founder of JP Morgan and Company, the man that shaped modern Wall Street, he was not just someone that was buying a ticket. He was actually the money behind the Titanic. The company that built it, which was controlled by his International Mercantile Marine Company, financed the fleet, and it was set to sail in pure luxury. And JP Morgan had a very luxurious suite on the Titanic as well. He had a personal veranda and also a marble bathtub. And then he didn't even show up. And word on the street is JP Morgan didn't miss big events like this because it was a chance for him to network with other rich folk. So if he said he was going to be there, he would be there. Except this time, days before the Titanic departed, he mysteriously canceled. Why did JP Morgan cancel? He had an astrologer, and her name was Evangeline Adams. This particular week in 1912, astrologically, it was not ideal to set sail on the ocean. Mars and Saturn were clashing, and that energy is about conflict and danger. More importantly, Neptune, the planet of the ocean and illusion, was in Cancer. Cancer energy is about water, home, and security. To an astrologer, this is not favorable weather, and nothing about this says safe travels when it comes to the ocean. So basically, Evangeline told JP Morgan, you don't need to play with the sea right now. And so allegedly, JP Morgan listened to the advice of his astrologer. He stayed behind. He did not aboard the Titanic, and a few days later, on April 15th, 1912, the Titanic sank. My only question with this is, if this is in fact true, why didn't he warn anyone else? Or maybe he did warn a select few. So was this just luck? Is all of this too good to be real? Leave a comment and be sure that you subscribe and follow for more cosmic history and unexplained mysteries.
Coincidences Part 6. 2 books actually predicted the sinking of the Titanic. The first was written in 1886 by W.T. Stead. It was a warning tale about ships being sent out without enough lifeboats, which we all know was a major problem on the Titanic. The craziest part is that Stead actually died on the Titanic when it sunk. In 1898, Morgan Robertson wrote The Wreck of the Titan. In the book, the boat ironically hits an iceberg. The size of the ship described in the book was almost identical to the real Titanic, as were the speed both ships hit the iceberg. Both were unsinkable, short on lifeboats, and sunk in April. So did these writers predict the future, or was it just a...
The whole Titanic situation, I've always heard the whole conspiracy about the Titanic, and that, you know, JP Morgan, the person who now owns Chase Bank, the entire family is wealthy now, but it all started because they sabotaged someone else and stole their wealth. But Americans have been doing this for such a long time. Even Europeans, whoever you are, white people have been doing this for a long time. Unalive this person to take their wealth, or, you know, some accident happened to be able to transfer the wealth to them type stuff. It's like, instead of actually working for the things, and they claim that everybody else is lazy except for them, instead of having to work for the thing, then I'm going to unalive you and or cause some sort of accident to happen so your wealth can be transmuted to me, basically. So it's like, I always saw it, honestly, because the whole Titanic and how it happened, it was giving very much setup. Right? This is all in my opinion. This is all a legend. This is all for entertainment purposes only, but it was always...
Hey guys, I'm Jenny, and this is Shameless Plug. So I want to tell you guys about my Crown of Success manifestation book with easy, simple rituals and spells to manifest a life of abundance in your life. And those spells are so easy, even a child can do it. So this book is filled with different spells that I've learned over the years from my family, passed down from grandma and everything. And also those are spells that I've actually tried and I know that they work. So this book not only teaches you step by step on the things that you can do that are so easy that a child can do it, but it tells you like the proper moon phase to use, alchemy, manifesting with numbers, numerology, and also the days of the week that best fit for this particular spell. So it tells you the timing of when to practice the spell, the days of the week, the moon phase. It shows you all the colors of the candles that you should be using and different planets. So for example, I show you like planet Jupiter is for Thursdays and the hours of the days that you should be doing the spell. So this is an easy road opener spell. So I know a lot of people like to do like different spell work, but if your roads are blocked, of course your spells are not going to work. So it's good to unblock yourself first and then start using the spell, especially with the new years and the new days to come. And also I have some amazing spells in here. This is a powerful quick money spell. So if you're in a bind for some money and you're just trying to get some money, and I even have some easy powerful spell to win Game of Chance. So if you are a gambler, now I don't promote gambling, but if you are a gambler and you're just trying to make some money and trying to make sure you win, these spells will definitely help you. It tells you the best days to do it. So it says the best days to perform this spell is on a Thursday, Jupiter day. Jupiter is the planet of good fortune, luck, and expansion. Jupiter is the best day to perform spells that boost luck and increase your chance of success in any game of chance or any money spell, period. It has a list of so many spells that you can incorporate in your life with this new year to bring prosperity. And I even put some bonus spells on here, which for Saturday is a day to do like protection work. So I have a spell for like send back to senders. So I put some bonus spells on here, and then a protection with Archangel Michael. So there's so many spells on here. Removing the evil eye spell, so you can remove evil eye in your money and also in your everyday life. New Year home blessing spell, and I know it's been a few days since the new year started, but you can always do a home blessing spell any days of the week. As long as you need it, you could do it. So anyways, guys, this is my book. It's called Crown of Success by Jenny, and it's available on Amazon, the ebook and also the physical copying. So please grab a copy if you're interested in supporting this channel. This is a way to support the channel and to support me as well for putting out, you know, content every day for you guys. So enjoy. So I hope you guys enjoyed this book, and I hope you go and grab your copy, whether it's the ebook or the physical copy. I say have a physical copy, but it's really up to how much, you know, your wallet and what you can afford. So anyways, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye. Mwah. This is a shameless plug, so just check out my channel, okay? Love you guys. Mwah.
Hey y'all, welcome back. So I know a lot of people have been saying they cannot find my books on Amazon. Well, I have good news. I have officially opened up my very own shop. It's called Oshun's Elixir. That's where you'll find all of my books, my Money Conjure, Crown of Success, Voice of the Creator, all of those on there, including your spiritual products. A lot of spiritual products that are on my shop you probably will not find at your local Botanica store. So check out the store, and also I am having a 10% off on certain items. And if you have been wanting to get my Crown of Success book, now is the time, because until the end of today, which is Thanksgiving, well, I'll probably leave it until Cyber Monday, we will have a 10% off on selected items. And also you can get the Crown of Success book for only $7.99. So take advantage of that, because the price will go up eventually by, well, $7.96. But by Cyber Monday at midnight, the price will go back up. So if you have always wanted to get a copy of the Crown of Success book, now is the time to grab your copy. And also don't forget to use the code Jenny10 to get 10% off selected items. Check out the store and let me know what you guys think, because I am actually growing the store, so I will be adding a lot of stuff when it comes to spiritual items that a lot of botanical stores you might not be able to find at a lot of botanical stores. You will be able to find at my shop. I will have a lot of Haitian products, a lot of powders, a lot of books, a lot of different herbs that you will need for your spiritual use. So go ahead and check out the store and let me know what you think. And let me know how I'm doing with the designing of the store, because you guys know I love a good feedback. And at the very bottom of the footer in the shop, you can actually click the link that says listen to my music. So my music is also there. And also you can click another link that says watch my videos, and it will direct you straight to my All Things Jenny YouTube channel. So I hope you guys enjoy this. Let me know what you think. I will talk to you guys later. Please have an amazing Thanksgiving. Enjoy with your family. Love you guys.